I owe you all a massive apology. If you guys haven't noticed, in the past 2 weeks, there has not been a single video from me really since my review of TMNT Media Mayhem, and the reason for that being was because I got hit with round 3 of COVID. Because of COVID, I have not been able to do anything in this past 2 weeks. I actually missed 2 weeks of the screenings, Last Voyage of Demeter and Blue Beetle, although I will be seeing Blue Beetle very soon. Look out for a review of that. I should be hitting either Thursday or Friday, but I have been working on things coming out in October, so just look out for that. You should guys know what that is. But as you all have seen in my community post, I came back like the Doomslayer. I ripped and teared out this virus from my body, and I am back finally after 2 weeks to give you guys my review of what I think is the biggest surprise of 2023. Let's get it on. So, Gran Turismo is a new film based on the true story, not on the video game Gran Turismo, even though the video game does play a big factor of what the movie is actually about. But Gran Turismo is actually based on the true life story of, I believe, Jan Mardenborough. I do apologize if I butchered his name. It tells his life story in which how he basically used Gran Turismo to become a professional race car driver. And by the way, he's still racing to this day, which is pretty incredible. Alrighty guys, so let's get into Gran Turismo.
Excellent!
This was a movie that I, honest to God, had none, and I mean no expectations for, because if you have played Gran Turismo, guys, Gran Turismo is just literally a racing simulator. I mean, seriously, the subtext of Gran Turismo is a driving simulator, and knowing when I first about this movie, I mean, just hearing the fact they were trying to make a movie about Gran Turismo, I just kept thinking, why? There's nothing to do there. That is until I did some more research and I found out that the movie was not actually about Gran Turismo, but actually a story about somebody who played the game and became a professional race car driver. That story is so cool, and seriously, look up the actual story. It's actually really inspiring, not only for race car people, but also for gamers like me as well. There was something else that I was a bit cautious about when it came to me seeing this movie, and that was director Neil Blomkamp. Now, to be fair, Neil Blomkamp came out of the gate with District 9, and District 9 is one of the best sci-fi films of the 2000s. Elysium, while it was good, it wasn't nearly as good as District 9, and Chappie, not good at all. Walking in, I had literally no expectations, even though I did have optimism knowing the story. There have been many surprises in 2023 with Megan, Plane, Dungeons and Dragons. Gran Turismo just might be the biggest surprise of 2023, and I'm not kidding when I say this. The performances in this movie I actually thought were quite good. Orlando Bloom I thought was really good. Archie once again, he's gonna be like the one out of main names I butcher out this week. I do apologize about that. Archie Medicui, that really came out bad. I am so sorry about that. Archie Medicui I thought was really good as Jan Mardenborough, the person who is using Gran Turismo as a way to become a race car driver. Watching his story I thought was just really inspiring, not as only a person who loves racing games, by the way, but as a person who has been a gamer ever since I was a little kid. It was very inspiring. That's something I'm going to touch upon later on. David Harbour was easily the best thing about Gran Turismo. Before David Harbour came on to the movie was still engaging, was still interesting, but I am telling you all, the moment that David Harbour came on screen, it's like his presence elevated the movie at least times 5. Like, his screen presence makes the movie not only that much more entertaining, and by the way, David Harbour's chemistry with Archie, I thought made for this really great brotherhood and this great student and mentor relationship that really made this underdog story a very touching one, a very emotional one. There is a particular moment with David Harbour that, honest to God, I almost teared up. Like, it was such a touching moment that when you guys see the movie, you will completely understand what I'm talking about. The next thing I gotta talk about here is Neil Blomkamp's directing this movie. While this is definitely a formula that we have seen a lot of biopics, the way that Neil Blomkamp injects heart, emotion with such a great underdog story, and on top of that with some great racing sequences, which I will get onto momentarily. The thing I loved the most about Gran Turismo was the actual story itself, the true life story of this guy that used a video game in order to help him make a career out of it. Because here's the thing, and I guarantee you'll have been in the exact same situation I have been. As long as I can remember, gamers have been told that they will contribute nothing to society, and this story really does prove that, hey, gamers can do shit. Gamers can not only do stuff, but because of gaming, we can accomplish things. And if this movie doesn't prove that gamers can actually do things, I don't know what will at this point. Gaming can actually teach us things. I played a lot of Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo was actually my favorite games growing up. And seeing this game being represented on the big screen along with gamers, I thought was just really, really nice and a very loving ode to not only the game itself, but also to gamers. Neil Blomkamp not only directs a great story in the film, telling this true life tale, but he also pulls off making some tension-filled racing sequences, and not to mention the sound design and the sequences I thought were very, very well done. The racing sequences in Gran Turismo were full of tension, they're dramatically engaging, and there are some parts, especially when it came to the true life story, that I did not know what happened, and it made me look up to see if it was actually true. I was spellbinded to find out that one particular thing actually happened. Gran Turismo is not only a very cool looking film, but the best way I can describe how this movie looks is that it just looks crystal clear and razor sharp, and a very stylized looking film altogether.
Well, that's just fucking great!
While the film is based on the true life story of Jan Mardenborough, the formula of the underdog story has been done many, many times before. There were a couple of times in which I was able to call a story before it was being played out. The first 15 minutes of this movie, they're a bit rocky, they're a bit rough around the edges. It's just, they're not particularly great, especially the dialogue. Yeah, the first 15 minutes of this movie are not particularly great. This movie could have been easily shaved off, I think maybe 15-20 minutes. This movie didn't have to be nearly that long. 2 hours and 15 minutes of this movie I think was a bit excessive personally.
And here we go.
So overall, I am so happy to say that in a year full of many surprises, not only is Gran Turismo yet another surprise, but it is possibly the biggest surprise of 2023. Gran Turismo is not only just a really good racing film, it's a really good underdog story, but just plain and simple, Gran Turismo is a really, really good movie. All in all, I'm gonna give Gran Turismo a 3.5 out of 5. Not only is Gran Turismo a really good movie, but it also made me proud to be a gamer. So comment down below and let me know, what is your biggest surprise of 2023 so far? Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, I'm also on Twitch, so if you guys want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links and the users' names are in the description below. I hope you enjoyed my review of Gran Turismo. If so, please hit that like button, also subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell for my latest review goes live. If you guys want to see my previous 2 reviews, please click right there or right there. And of course, until my next review or video goes live, I will see you all next time.